positives while also cleaning up our negatives, which, you know, have come back to haunt us a couple times down the stretch, but which you come to expect with a young basketball team now at this point in the season. You know, we're trying to make sure we put together a complete 40 minutes and finish off these games like we know we're capable of.
Kind of along those same lines, Coach Crean was saying last night that he wasn't very happy maybe with the energy level to start the second half against Minnesota. I mean, what does it take to kind of change that or have maybe a little bit better energy coming out of the locker room?
You know, I don't think that there's any one particular thing that you can focus on, or else we surely would have, you know, tried to make sure that happened. I mean, after you come out of the Nebraska game with a similar result in that second half, that's not something that you ever plan on repeating. I mean, as a team, as a unit, as a coaching staff, as players collectively, you know, they all have great intentions. They've had great intentions since June. So the energy level, I mean, the learning experiences, like each situation is going to be a different situation. That's the beauty of the league. You know, I would love to tell the other team, hey, do this, this, and this, because we're ready for this, this, and that. We have to constantly be prepared for any and every type of environment and situation. And, you know, I think we learned from it. Now it's about actually processing and performing in those situations when the time is there.
Is that how the team's growing and just learning how to bounce back from these losses maybe a little bit better than they did earlier in the year?
Yeah, I don't think that we have ever had any problem bouncing back. I mean, these guys, they're a confident group. They're a group that understands, you know, what we're trying to get accomplished. I mean, they're great in practice. They're great with their attention span. They're great at following a scouting game plan. It's all about execution. So I would never say that we have trouble bouncing back, just like I don't think we ever have any problem, you know, recovering from a big win, you know, moving on. This team is probably beyond their years as far as being able to move on and get ready for the next day. I think you can attribute, you know, the leadership directly for that from Coach Crean. I mean, he brings the same level of intensity every single day. So, you know, I don't think it's about bouncing back. I think it's about progressing like we normally would, but progressing with a higher level of urgency, a higher level of focus. You know, that's something that you can't really simulate, you know, in a practice situation, what it's like to go and play in front of a sold-out crowd and fall a little short. And then the next day, the sun comes up the next day, you know, so what do you do? So until you go through those situations as a human being, you know, you just don't know what it's like. You're kind of ignorant to the situation, but I wouldn't consider it a bounce back. I think it's just a move forward.
I guess relating to what you just said, one thing Coach Crean has kind of said after, you know, the losses to Nebraska and Minnesota was kind of a lack of awareness, I guess, in the second half. How do you combat that, if at all?
The lack of awareness.
Yeah.
I mean, that's simply coming in. When I talk about fundamentals, that's what I mean. There are fundamental things that are going on that lead to a lack of awareness, and we just got to emphasize them. I mean, whether it's getting over a screen, whether it's communicating a changing defense in a possession, you know, those are fundamental things that you know you just have to get at. You have to hammer it every single day, and we've been doing it, and we're going to continue to do it, and that's. You know, that's about maximizing your potential as a team. When you're constantly working towards having better communication and you're fighting that battle every single day and you're at the far end of the court in the second half in a hostile environment, you know, and you're playing a very good basketball team who's very capable of beating anybody, just like I think anyone in this league is, it is that simple as it sounds, you know, simple. Well, it is that simple. Hey, we're changing defenses. You need to be in this area. Okay, you get 4 people doing it, 1 person not doing it, guess what? You lose by a possession or 2 in the Big Ten. And that's just something that, you know, you can explain until you're blue in the face and, you know, until you experience it and go through it. And that's when you have to learn to hate losing more than you like winning. And I think that this team is there. They've been there. They're focused. They want it for each other. You know, it's about executing and finishing.
How do you feel like this team has improved since the last game against Penn State?
It's just been that constant development. I mean, focusing on the positive of the team. I think that, you know, the guys, you know, there's been some improvements you'll see on some games with our turnover situation. There's been some improvement with, I think we've continued to rebound the ball. So it's mainly about guys just getting older, growing up a little bit in the moment, you know, focusing on each individual opponent, diving into the game plan a little bit better, you know. So I definitely feel like we're progressing each day, and it's about just, you know, trying to put it together for 40 minutes.
What do you see different about Penn State? I mean, obviously Taylor's playing better for them. since the first meeting?
Yep. Well, we discussed that a few minutes
Okay,
ago,
that's right.
but that's all right. You know, they're a team that is. We talked about them having the ability to add a third scorer. I mean, they've got two of the best,
Yeah.
one of the best backcourts in the country, of Newbill and Frazier. I think that they've had different guys step up. You know, they were a team that was kind of, you know, with a few transfers coming in, Newbill and Frazier, first time playing together in the league. I think that they're starting to have some unity now, and you know, just like everyone in this league, I don't think that, you know, we're one of the Big Ten is a league where, you know, on a given night, I don't think anymore you'd be surprised to see anyone beat anyone, you know, no matter where the game is. And, you know, that's just something that, you know, they're now in that mix, just like we're in that mix, just like Michigan State, Michigan, and everyone else is in that mix, where they're just turning into a complete basketball team. It's a tough out on any night.
Okay, anything else for Kenny?
I guess just how important was that first Penn State game and winning a tight game close?
You know, it's hard to quantify that, you know, honestly for us, because we go into each game expecting to win that basketball game. You know, there are no surprise wins for us. Just like we prepare, you know, there honestly aren't any surprise losses for us. We're prepared for any and every situation. It's just about executing. The importance of the win, I mean, anytime you can win on the road in the Big Ten, it's, you know, it's like the coaches say, it's like gold, you know, just to be able to gain one of those wins. I mean, I think you see around the country winning in these conferences on the road is a difficult thing to do. So I will put more so just the fact that we were able to win that road game is being very significant for us. You know, it's the first time that the team, you know, an inexperienced team has been able to win a Big Ten road game. So, you know, from that context, it was important. Yeah, we expected to go in there and compete and win.